Today, we got a guest speaker has not been with us for a little bit of time, but I'm so happy to bring him back and have him back on the call today. He hails from Fresno, California. Him and his beautiful wife. She does a lot of beautiful trainings for us on Saturday. He's also a regional director on his way to regional vice president, and I can't wait till that happen. And he hails from the Fresno area. Without further ado, can we give a warm welcome to none other than the great Mr. Chris King?
Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Mr. Thomas, for putting this call together and allowing us to get on here and share from our hearts and what little knowledge that I have in this field. But if I can help just one person on here, I'm doing my job. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? So, but anyway, guys, yeah, we got Bob. That's what you get for leaving your camera on. Oh, that's funny. And my good friend Bob, and that's one of the blessings of this. Being involved in this business here and the relationships we get to develop here, Mr. Thomas. Not only just relationships, but even financial advice and when you get set up and things are happening monetarily. I don't have anybody in my life that can tell me like these are good decisions, these are bad decisions. I have none of that. And to have Mr. Thomas he became a friend. He's a mentor. He's a business mentor. He's a financial advisor. To be all those things. And I met with Bob. I got Brian Walker and all the other people out there. Miss Jackie Black, where's she at? I know she. See her. There she is. How you doing, dear? These people, these wonderful people in the fours, and that I've got to meet out there. The Hayeses, Mr. Brian Baker. I mean, all these people that are coming on here. I get to meet at these places and even here locally, with Mrs. Phipps. I knew my wife's knew her, worked with her, but I didn't know her. But all these absolute amazing people that we've actually got to meet and become friends with and share our lives with has just been an absolute blessing. And then I literally talk for an hour on that and all the people and what they've done for us in our lives. But today, and like I say, thanks Mr. Thomas for setting us up here to do this platform and every day. And he's a trooper, guys. I'm telling you what, I probably wouldn't have 5 calls a week if I was in his shoes. So, but an important thing to notice: this is not doing the business. Does everybody understand that? You were on the call today for knowledge, for anything that you can get and take and use. This is not working a business. This is putting yourself mentally, because our business is probably more mental than a lot of other businesses. Okay, a lot of the businesses, there's a mental game to it, but this one here is specifically more mental. I mean, Brian and I, Mr. Waller, went out to a restaurant here in town, and supposed to have was 11 or 11:30 appointment. The owner didn't. We're like, I guess he's not coming today, so we're walking out. And, oh, there he is. He's walking in. So it's a mental game. And I think if more of us understand that, it's going to help out big time, because you get this under control, you can destroy this business. But getting this here is like, oh, you're not where you're going to be. So hopefully I'm going to do some stuff here, guys, or say some things and that we put together here. And I'm going to tell you, Rose and my picture are on when I do a call. Rose and my picture's on there because she does help out. She does have some amazing ideas. And the amount of personal development that woman does puts probably everybody on puts me to shame. I can't keep up, and I try. So, but it's just so important that we got to feed the brain. But my stomach is not the only thing that needs to eat. Okay, so you guys probably saw the other day, Mr. Thomas, I mean, yesterday, whatever, and kind of reiterate on some of that, because a lot of us and some of the stuff that we tend to do. So, a lot of us on here have a lot of personal points. We know the system works, but here's what's weird: we have issues growing a team. We know how to, but there's something about issues about what we say and and what we do, and but the issue, man, someone talks about, hey, how's that phone thing you do? Oh, ba 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 ba. You get 5 phones, you get boo, and you just know it by heart. You have the knowledge, like you could probably work at Flash Mobile. You know so much about it. You could probably work at IDC or Vivint because you know so much about it. Okay. We can train on it. We can get customers all day long. But what happens when we start talking to a person about the business? Do we say too much to them? Do we go into that transactional mode? Boom, the business is blah 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 blah. That's transactional. When you're talking to people about the business, you have to be transformational. How is this business and you going to change that person's life? I mean, honestly, guys, we have the ability to save lives. Oh, let me let somebody in here. We have the ability to save someone's life in the financial arena. But remember, they say finances is one of the main reasons people get divorced. People have jumped out of 10-story buildings, if not higher, because of monetary issues going on. So when we become more, how do I say this, more knowledge about the business, about services in the business than we do anything else that's transactional. Okay. Now here's the thing. Now we're talking mental. Has anybody on here got an IBO that got started that didn't succeed? Not because of you, because you were doing the right things, but there's a mental part of this still. Y'all got one? Anybody? Nobody? Y'all got somebody on here. Everybody on here has got at least one person in their business before that just flopped. They didn't do what they were told. They didn't hit a bonus. They didn't get, we've had people in 30 days not get one service and ghost us. And back then it was like $4.99. And you just spend $500. You could have ghosted me for free. Save the $5.99. Bought yourself a nice steak dinner with the family. But interesting. But here's what happens. You get that one person that doesn't do anything and fails. And because you haven't got anybody in several months, that one person becomes gigantic. Now, the emotional issues on that is huge. That's why it's so important that you self-develop. That's what gets you through these low times. Okay. Now, for us, we start feeling guilty, like doubting our own selves. Like, what did we do? What was this something could I done it different? And Rose is huge on reevaluating the issues. And we used to do that in the fire. We go on a fire, somebody's vehicle accident or something. We'd reevaluate it. Everybody have their 2 cents. Mr. Waller, hey, what did you see out there we could change or do or whatever? And then boom, no, we went good, Cap, and who the next one? And we go through all that. And Rose does the same thing. She's better at this in the business aspect arena than I am. But we start doubting ourselves. That somehow one person, he's going to change our lives. He's going to get us to RVP, RC, whatever. And nothing. We start doubting ourselves. Now, the system's been around for 30 years. Now, we know the system works. But we start wondering, how can I be a freaking teacher? How can I teach someone? How can I mentor someone when I struggle and I'm not where I should be, right? Yet I don't have any problem talking about services. I go backwards and forwards on how Vivint works, IDC, name. Now I do have some issues with Flash Mobile, okay? But I'm upfront about it. I'll tell people, I'll go get help. I'll find someone else who's better at it. But yet so many people struggle about sharing the opportunity, becoming a business owner, or maybe just sometimes that we just say the wrong thing, okay? But that's, like I say, that's more transactional, okay? Just being transactional, basically, here it is, does nothing about saving or changing someone's life. Does that make sense, guys? We want to change someone's life, and being transactional doesn't give us that issue. And here's what happens a lot of times. Anybody here ever been in a bad relationship, whether it was a friend or a mate? Everybody has, right? Things didn't work out. But here's what's crazy. How did you treat the next newfound friend or mate? A little cautious? Whatever the issues were there, were you a little bit more on not on edge, but on point about that happening again to you? It happens all the time. And a lot of times that changes our life or how we deal with people in life. Okay. So that's why this mental game is so big for a lot of people. Okay. Now, Rose and I sat down. We were going to the international. This is funny. This is years ago. And Mr. Nelson, before he became SVP, he was still RVP. And he was RVP Platinum Lithium Global. He was way up there, and he'd been around for years. And he was sitting down with a young lady who was RD, just like us. She, though, the difference between her and us is she'd been in a charge for a long time. We had watched her without her knowing, not that we were stalkers, but you just pay attention to people and what they're doing. So Mr. Nelson, and we're going to the international, right? And Mr. Nelson calls us over. Rose, Chris, he's waving us over. We didn't want to interrupt him, because he's over there having some food and talking to this young lady. And he sat us down. He started talking, and it just, his words of wisdom he always has. And he starts talking about what's holding you back. And I mean, if we all sat down like right now, we took 3 minutes, probably wouldn't even need that. We took 3 minutes and we all, like right now, I need you to write down what you think is holding you back. We could all do it. We all got something, right? So he was asking us that, and we're like, man, maybe a couple things, right? And then he turned to her, and she's RD, mind you, right? He says, so what's holding you back? And she knew exactly what it was. She knew exactly what it was. She says, you know what? Now that I know what I know, getting to RVP is going to be some work. And I'm a little reluctant on getting started because of some of the work that it's going to take. And here's what's interesting. We show people the business and they don't want to get started. And yet they'll go out. I don't know if you all have seen this, because here in the Central Valley, it's 110, 115. Out Mr. Thomas, it's 120, 115. Phoenix area is the same. But those people will go out and they'll go to work for an asphalt laying company. And you see them out there with a sign, a little hard hat on. They're trying to get in some shade, hotter than freaking fish grease. And they'll do that. They'll go back to digging ditches. They'll go back to washing dishes. But the mental game here is so big, she didn't want to start doing it at that time. She just wasn't ready. She had to mentally get ready. So it's all about that mental game, guys, because we want to get out of the transactional phase into the transformational, okay? So we're talking about these things. So now we're talking about going into our goals. So knowing what it takes. So anybody here set goals? Everyone down here set goals before. Mr. Thomas had to set goals. We all do that. Oh, Freddie, they're driving along. He is shaking his head. Yeah, he knows. We're setting goals. So when you set goals, everyone understands it needs to be detailed down to the time, the day, the goal you want, the action needed, the whole 9 yards. And we understand that for goals. But here's a question, guys. Are we doing, I had to let somebody in here. Are we doing that for the people that we're out looking for and want to be in business with? How many of y'all did that? How many of y'all have sat down and wrote down the type of people you're going for? The type of people that are on your list, your hit list. You just don't want to be the general guy. You want to be the detailed guy or woman, the detailed person, because you want to know who like when someone walks up, hey Brian, Mr. Waller, who you looking to grow in your business with? And Brian, like, boom, I'm looking for a businessman that owns a business, 150 people or more, and blah, blah, blah. He's got it down in detail. 2 turtle dove, a partridge, and a pear tree. I mean, he's just got it down, right? Because that's what you want to go do. So for most of us, it's just a general approach. You know, most of us are like hunters. We go out and look for whatever. You know why? Because we're hungry. We're hungry and we're looking for whatever. But here's what's crazy. When you're out hunting for stuff, the stuff you're hunting is looking to avoid you. Now, I don't want to be in business when people are and looking to grow my business when people are looking to avoid me. I mean, in a way, that's a good thing because you're talking about the business, but there's certain ways to do it. So you can't just be a hunter. It's going to run away from you. That's a transactional move. So what are we doing what are we doing to target those people that we're actually looking for? I mean, yeah, to go out and talk to everybody's good, but anybody ever struggle with the dishwasher that got started, saw the vision, but got started in the business, but didn't have the mindset? He's gone. He's gone. So know that. Know what you're looking for, and know. And this is business owners, people you want to be in business with. Now, a lot of times timing isn't there, right? And in their lives, it could be what I've got a guy that and I call him Salamundo. So Salamundo got a guy, and he's like, "Yeah, Mr. King, this is great. I want to get started, but I'm getting married." And I'm like, "Dude, that's awesome. If you get started now, we can actually create bonus money because could you use an extra couple hundred or a couple thousand for your wedding?" Oh, yeah. But timing wasn't right for him. So we're waiting for him to get married and we're going to reapproach him. But after we do that, it'd be, "Oh, I'm having a kid. Oh, I have a lot of work. I have a lot of stuff going on at work. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life." But it's always timing. So know that, guys, the timing and saying the right things, being a person of character who cares about these people's lives and keeping in touch with them. I've had a guy start literally a year and a half after he saw the business because I just kept dripping on it. Not about business is great. Where are you? I just, hey, dude, how you doing, man? How's life? How's the kids? How's the wife? How's your dad? I knew his dad. So just being there. You know what they always ask me? "Hey, Chris, how's the business going?" Oh, dude, I can't even begin to tell you where you'd be today if you got started back then. And then that old freaking head shake comes. Like, he knows. I'd have to tell him. He knows. But you know what? It's never too late, dude. He goes, "Hey, can we go have dinner again?" The wife and it, yeah. And he got started. And that started another leg. So timing's always everything. So don't just know that. Okay. The right thing to say. So here's a lot of you guys are gonna relate to this. So what if stepping outside AC, what if you sold a pill that fixed your health gut, gave you better enzymes, you slept better, and you had healthier innards, your liver, pancreas, all that. It helped increase all that. And you had this one pill you could take one a day, and this is what you're selling. And you're telling me, he's like, "Chris, dude, I got a pill. You take this, it's more energy. It give you, it do this for you. You more enzymes in your stomach. You'll be healthier. You'll do this. You'll do that." And I'd look at him and I don't really need it, dude. I'm actually pretty healthy. I go body fine. I have energy. I'm fine. Anybody ever have that happen? I'm just using the pill, and I'm going to show you why in a little bit. Okay. And but you're like, but you need, this is healthy. This is way better for you. Boom, boom. Yeah, but I have energy. I really don't need it. It's just extra at this point in time. What he didn't know was next week I had my doctor's appointment. My normal checkup. We get older, we got to do our yearly thing. So I go in for my doctor's appointment. The doctor looks me over and checks me out, and blood pressure and everything. And huh, you know, Chris, looking at your stuff here, and like, you got some gut issues. I'm going to prescribe you something, right? Better health, better stomach issues, the freaking everything the dude told me last week, the doctor tells me. Now, after the doctor tells me, do you think I'm more in a position to listen about gut health and everything else? Heck yeah. But it was timing. Now the guy has the knowledge. So, how are you approaching people? Is the key. Knowing. But here's the thing. The guy approached me, the person approached me, not asking any questions, just assuming that I needed more energy, better health, gut, this and that. He didn't know. I could have gone to the doctor, and the doctor gave me a freaking 100% bill of clean health, which would have proved my point that I don't need anything. But we have to start asking those questions. I mean, forming is great. Family, occupation, recreation, all that stuff. That's great. But it's all surface level. So if we're going to be transformational and help someone change their life, we need to get better at listening. Right? Hey, Jabri, how you doing today, brother? Oh, man, good. You know, I didn't sleep too good last night. What? What's going on, dude? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Man, but because I listened, I'm in a better position to help. Now, say, for instance, that pill I was selling helped him. That's something we could talk about. But just assuming doesn't do anything for me. Doesn't do anything for any of us on here. Okay? So understand that, and understand that listening, that timing is everything, and that listening is everything. Because the individual that talked to me didn't ask questions and listen to anything I had to say. He just assumed. What did he got? He got a big old fat zero. So don't go to people so general and so bent on selling your product or being in your service or being in business with you that they don't need you. Okay? Does that make sense for everybody? So don't be general. It would be like posting. Did you ever remember the social media stuff that the ACN gave us? Hopefully everybody was on that. Do you remember what they said? They talked about this. They said, never post something that's general. Okay. So here's a post that I see other network marketing people do, right? Hey, anyone want to make some extra money part-time around their schedule? Something like that. Anybody want to make extra money? You know how many business partners they get out of that? Zero. It's not worth the time. Not worth the post. So we need to, like the social media, we need to be, I mean, they gave us the training for free. They told us, be precise. Know who you're going after. We're about being transformational. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys have a I help statement? When you go approach somebody like Mr. Waller or Brian, what do you do? Oh, I help. No, I do telecom. I do the same thing. Chris, what do you do? Oh, I do telecom and energy. That cell phone in your pocket, right? And I usually pointing at the cell phone because you see it in the pocket or in the purse. I said, every time that cell phone goes ring, I get paid. Or I teach people how to get paid. Okay. So people are like, oh, well, hey. All right. But we want to move people. So how can it be transformational? Okay. So we get to create an I help statement. Okay. Everybody knows people buy emotionally and not logically. See, they'll buy emotionally, then back it up logically. Okay. Guys, women do this all the time. Oh, I bought this new dress because I look good in it. Right? See, logically. Emotional because the dress looked beautiful. And then when you come home and they got to explain it, they did it because they look good in it. And they do. So what are you saying to move people? So what's your I help statement? Okay. And these statements has got to be something like Mr. Waller knows this too. Mr. Waller's done some acting. Mr. Waller, before he goes on and they start filming anything, he's practiced it. They've gone through it over and over and over again until he could wake up in the middle of a freaking dream and recite his line. That's what you got to do. So with your I help statement or our scripts, we have to get down and we have to learn. Okay. I'm not saying you have to wake up in the middle of your dream reciting it, but it would help. So let me guys show you what my basic I help statement is. Okay. So you guys have an understanding. So let me see if I can find it here. Okay, example of I help statement is, I help, Chris, what do you do? I help people whose time to create memories with their families has been robbed because of their career or business. These are moments in time that have been lost forever. Okay, so that is a lot different than, oh, see that cell phone? Hey, T, yeah, see that cell phone in your purse right there? Yeah, I get paid every time that goes ring. That's about you. You're not changing anybody's life with you. What are you doing for other people? Why would I want to follow you? I help statement like that. I help people whose time to create memories with their families has been robbed because of their business and career. Like, pardon my French, but I usually get a, oh, damn. But that's what it's about. So it's sitting down, creating an I help statement. And there's some guys out there that talk about this, and you can YouTube it and learn how some of this stuff's done. I don't have the time on these calls to do that. But the thing of this, guys, and I want you to do this here because over the next 3 more calls that I have this month, I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff that we got that it'll be basically a call to action. The calls are going to be shorter and it's going to be about getting into action. Okay. Because you can be on calls all day long, but unless you're making a phone call to somebody to be a customer or a business owner, set up appointments, you get nothing. But listen, I'll tell you what listening almost did for us is I have a guy that I was telling Jabri about this morning. I was listening to him and he asked me if I had anything. So I explained anything. Yeah, I got some identity theft protection. And he wanted to provide that for his workers. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, we got some great stuff. And he was asking me because he knew I did it. He was asking me about it. So I listened to him. And this is a benefit for your workers that's going to help you because he didn't want to give him a raise. If you gave him a raise, it'd be more workman's comp, more insurance. With the raise comes everything. He's going to be paying a lot more out. Then he thought if he could take that and do something on the side to provide something that would be like a raise, he'd win on both sides. And I was like, a great idea. And I hit up ID Sealed, and they don't do anything for businesses. But he has almost 200 employees. Does anybody have an idea of what 200 ID seals would do for your account? Anybody? But I listened. I listened to what people say. I listened. So now we might have to do singles. So anyway, I guess they don't do businesses anymore. But I'm at what 200, and that's going to take us a week or two to do if he decides to do it. But I'm also going to bring up health share for all of his workers. Okay, because I listen, I ask the right questions. So in the business, like I can't say, and all of us have done that. We've tried to say so much to convince somebody so hard to join business with us, and they don't join. We just wasted an hour, half hour, 3 15-minute sessions trying to convince them to do business with us. Here's the problem. You're not listening. You're not listening and asking the right questions that are going to get them to talk themselves into joining. Can you imagine if you sat down with somebody and you ask the right questions and they look at you, T, and they go, you know what, T? I have to do this. I can afford not to. You'd be like, yeah. They talk themselves into it, not you talking. When they talk themselves into it, they're in. Now, not everyone's going to stick and stay and do what they're told, but your rates will be a lot higher. Your closing numbers will be better. Now you've become transformational. You're learning how to do and change people's lives. And guys, I'm going to tell you something right here. Be a better listener and don't assume. Let me tell you a little story about assumptions. So the lady was talking to this lady, and she had kids. She found out about the kids and the family and everything. She's like, oh, yeah, I can sit down with you and show you how you can spend more time with your kids and be at home more. And the ladies went, be at home with my kids. Those freaking, and this is, those kids drive me insane. I go to work to get away from them. That's my free time. I'm not giving that. And I was like, holy crap. Don't assume anything. Take the time to listen, because it will grow your business. It's just one of those things that happen. You can't get around it. You can't deny it. You start learning how to ask better questions. And take this, guys, and understand it, and get your scripts down, your I help statements down, because what we're going to start doing in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be going over some action things. See, all this stuff, this is just knowledge. Just knowledge. Hopefully it grew this a little bit, but it did nothing to grow your business. The action is what grows the business. And I don't want to take any more of your time today, because that you guys, some of you are still at work, you're doing things. I want to get you guys out there and growing your business. Because that's what pays you. It's what sets you free. That gets you debt free. When you tell people you're debt free, they don't really care how you do it, because these people, when you tell people I'm debt free, they're like, well, how'd you do it? Oh, I took a Dave Ramsey. They don't care. How do I take one of those? People want to be debt free. So be the person that is transformational. Because as you get older, the knowledge goes, trust me. I've already forgot half of what I knew. So, but guys, that's all I got today. God bless. And Jabri, since you're ready to take off right now, go ahead and throw now.